The opinions expressed on Tomahawk Talk do not reflect those of WVFS Tallahassee.
We are T-5 days away from Florida State football's first kickoff of the 2026 season. Fall sports are officially back. The two smallest market teams lead MLB right now, and I haven't heard a peep from Trey since the Yankees have been 3 games back in the division. All of that and more to come tonight as we welcome you into another episode of Tomahawk Talk. I'm your host, Gia Ciaccio, joined by my co-host, Cole Kruger, for our first official show of the fall season. We did a couple chemistry test episodes. I guess we passed, so here we are. We're very excited to give you a wonderful year of Tomahawk Talk. We're also joined by our panelists tonight, Andrew Witherspoon and Cole Smith, and Will McBroom and Trey Pope in the prod booth. We'll be taking your calls at 850-644-1837. That's 850-644-1837. And please don't be shy because I've missed the studio. I've missed our call-in, so don't be shy. Would love to hear from some listeners. Starting off with some FSU football. The highly anticipated 2026 football season begins Saturday against New Mexico State, a game the Seminoles should have no qualms about handling, but after a disappointing 2-year stretch, FSU opens the season with plenty to prove. While Saturday will mark the debut of QB1 Ashton Daniels and the first game with assistant head coach Tom Herman on the staff. Cole, I'm going to ask you this first off the bat because we had some questions about who the backup QB was going to be. We thought it might have been Sperry. Now we're thinking it might be Marshall. Do you realistically think that if all is going well on Saturday against New Mexico State, is it going to be Sperry or Marshall that's going to get the quality snaps in the fourth quarter?
From what I've been hearing, it sounds like it's going to be Malachi Marshall. Norvell talked about it today, how he gained 18 pounds of muscle. The report about him coming out of camp has been really good. Sperry, we talked about it. Andrew, Will, and I hopped on a graveyard shift with Matt Lasser, War Chance Matt Lasser last week. We talked about the progress of Malachi Marshall, what he's done, how he looked in the beginning. We talked about basically just how we felt when Ashton Daniels first came to the program and first was named the starter in the spring, in the end of the spring, before there was really any competition. We didn't like it at first. Now, I think all of us pretty much agreed that we are fans of Ashton Daniels. We're fans of the decision-making of Mike Norvell naming him starter when he did. I'm interested to see the QB rotation on Saturday. I think you're going to get to see both. But from what I've been hearing, from everything that I've seen on the websites, it sounds like Malachi Marshall has won the second backup quarterback position.
Well, and the unfortunate thing that could have happened with them talking so much about Malachi Marshall, which we mentioned, was maybe this isn't a great sign for Kevin Sperry. Mike Norvell was actually asked about that specifically today at his press conference, and he's, as coaches do, he didn't want to throw Kevin Sperry under the bus, but it was mostly a lot of positive Malachi Marshall talk. I agree. I think if FSU is blowing this game out, which we hope they will, Malachi Marshall should be the next one up.
No, I agree. I mean, I personally, I am sure everyone knows that I was one of the biggest Malachi Marshall fans when he first transferred. Now, I still am. I know that he wasn't looking too great coming into summer camp where he came late to FSU. But now, I mean, I think, and we talked about it, it's like Malachi Marshall is the shiny new toy that Florida State and Mike Norvell has. We kind of know what you're going to get with Sperry from the Florida State standpoint, especially the fans. So now it's like, okay, let's see what Ashton Daniels has. The talk about him out of camp has been really good. But Malachi Marshall is this, has a rocket of an arm. He's gained a bunch of pounds in muscle. So why not? Let's see what he's got. And New Mexico State is like the perfect game to do that.
I mean, Malachi Marshall won a JUCO national championship. He's a hungry guy. He wants to go out there and succeed. And I think that's what you kind of need in a QB room, is just some guy who's hungry and wants it more than others. And I'm not saying Kevin Sperry doesn't, but throwing that into the system, that's going to be good for Florida State as a whole, just having someone in there willing to do anything to get that starting job at some point.
Does it give you guys like a little bit of PTSD if you're going to see a quarterback on the field wearing number 1?
And he's incredibly skinny.
Yeah, like
yes.
He's got a lot more inches though. So, or not a lot more, but
he's taller.
Yeah,
He's
that's what I
definitely
mean.
taller than Tommy.
Yeah,
definitely.
Don't make me. Come on, Cole. Don't do that to me.
I was gonna say my mind went to James Blackman.
Oh,
which is why I said he was.
So I just think
shorter.
But I don't need
quarterbacks have to stop wearing number 1 at FSU. Maybe it's just not a good QB number.
Yeah. Well, I don't need Ashton Daniels to be Superman or anything insane. Just get the ball to Deuce Robinson, get the ball to Mekhi Danzy. Yeah.
I think he'll do that and nothing more. And I think that's what you need out of the quarterback of Florida State right now. You don't need some guy who's going to win it all for you right now. It's just be a game manager almost. You have the weapons. You have the O-line if healthy. Just get it done. That's all you need. And I think that's what Ashton Daniels is.
So what do you think FSU will do with Mekhi Danzy then? Because obviously Deuce Robinson is a no-brainer as first-string wide receiver. He's definitely one of the best in the country. But what do you do with Mekhi Danzy at that point? I mean, he did come in. I mean, he came in as a running back, and now he's a much better receiver. But
is your question like where they're going to play him?
Yeah.
Or, I mean, I think he's pretty much slotted into that wide receiver 2 role. I wouldn't mind seeing him play a little bit of running back, but you have a pretty stacked running back room, which I'm sure we'll get to. Why not? Like, at the end of last season, he showed that he can catch the football. His route running needs to get a little bit better. I mean, so does Boggs as well, who we'll talk to, which I think Andrew as well will agree that Boggs is pretty much most likely locked into that wide receiver 3 role. But why not throw Mekhi Danzy out there with his speed? If he can improve the route running and the hands, you have one of the best wide receiver tandems in the ACC. I will not... As we talk about FSU, I'm not going to compare them to the rest of the country, but in the ACC, one of, if not the best wide receiver tandems in the ACC with Danzy at the top of his game.
Look, if you get Deuce Robinson, get the focus off Deuce Robinson, that Florida State team, that's a multi-level. You can run the ball. You can do whatever you want, really, if you just don't become one-dimensional with Deuce Robinson. Deuce Robinson's down there somewhere. That works until it doesn't, really. Get Danzy open for those short gains, those RPOs, and let him do what he does best. Just be fast.
Yeah, I think, like I said before, you don't need Ashton Daniels to be Superman. You just need him to get the ball to Deuce Robinson. I mean, Deuce Robinson, as long as it's in like a 5-foot vicinity, I feel like, of him, he'll be fine, or a 5-foot radius.
It was the whole game plan for parts of last year.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Ashton Daniels doesn't have the proven most amazing arm. I mean, coming in, we're not expecting him to see that, or we're not expecting to see that from him, so...
He has I think, a much better arm than Tommy, though, and like you saw what Tommy was doing last year.
I just think it's a different game. Like, Tommy was so much faster too.
I agree, but I don't think there's going to be this game plan around get the ball to Deuce Robinson. You have all these other weapons. Like, that is what makes this Florida State offense so interesting and so appealing almost. Is like what you said, you don't need Ashton Daniels to be Superman. This coaching staff isn't going to make him be Superman or ask him to be Superman. You have these weapons. You have the running back room. We'll get to the tight ends. Now you have all these receivers. All you need Ashton Daniels to do is be a serviceable college quarterback.
Well, and he's not the type who's going to want necessarily to be. Not that every quarterback doesn't, want to have their moments like that, but Tommy Castellanos seemed to have a lot of times that he really wanted to be Superman and wanted to take over the game, which isn't going to be a problem here. You have a much just more of a delegator at QB, and game manager can be used as an insult. I think it's certainly not here when you have the weapons around him to make it a success.
Well, Tommy's gonna get to be Superman at Texas Tech now. No,
he'll never play. He'll get some gadget plays. He's not gonna start no matter what Grayson said in the group me.
Yeah, a lot of QB talk. Who's protecting him though? 5 new starters on the offensive line. I would say that's probably the biggest reason to be concerned about this team. They're experienced, but obviously it's a group you're kind of piecing together.
It's that cohesion factor that you just worry about a lot with an offensive line. Is you can go get 5 elite guys, and it can not work out if they can't play well together. So it's a lot of trust being put in Herb Hand, which I don't think is misplaced, but also what really can the ceiling for this line be? I don't think you need them to be crazy good, but I do think you need them to at least match the quality from last year.
No, I agree. I mean, it's definitely the biggest question mark on the team, definitely. On the offense, 100%, but the team, especially, I think this is the one position where you're going to look at it and be like, okay, maybe FSU fans are saying, who are these guys? The one guy that's returning is Andre Otto, who has, I think, 2 starts under his belt. So it's not an experienced Florida State unit. I like guys like Xavier Chaplin who bring experience from the Power 4 level, Brandon Welch-Joyner as well. Then you have a little bit of a question mark in a guy like Nate Pabs. Spoon, what did Lasser call Wawu? Was that the...
Oh, well, it's Chimdia, and then I think he said his teammates just call him Chim or something along those lines.
So Chim, it's a big question mark, and I agree with Will in the fact that you got to kind of allow Herb Hand to work as magic, and he seems pretty confident in this unit. And the biggest thing we need to talk about this week is how big it is for Florida State that they're starting the season against a team like New Mexico State. And I'm not knocking New Mexico State at all, but for Florida State to open up their season in a very big year for the program with a program like New Mexico State, it bodes well, especially for a position like the offensive line where we don't really know what we're going to see from them. For Florida State to be able to run into a different combination if they need to try out a few different guys, and that could be the possibility. We're not going to see a depth chart this week. We're not going to see one all season, which is a totally different topic of conversation. But the New Mexico State game opens it up to see what the offensive line has and to maybe throw in a different combination if need be.
Yeah, and then SMU the following week. So New Mexico State, we're concerned just because of what we've seen, but realistically, this program is nothing that Florida State should have any problem handling. Realistically, going into Saturday, what is a score, I'll start with you, Cole Smith, that you would be satisfied with, not like overjoyed, but satisfied with after Saturday? That you're like, okay, I feel comfortable with this team.
I absolutely despised Florida State's defense last year. I thought that was always – special teams was the biggest weakness. The defense just made me upset all the time. Hold the Aggies to like 14 points and Florida State wins. That's all I want. I just want the defense to look solid. That's all I need.
I think the biggest key, and this is kind of lame because like I'm not really looking for a specific score. I think the result will end up being kind of a blowout if it goes the way you want. I think the most important thing from this game is how Florida State does in the trenches. That's why there's all this talk about, like, what will the first play of the game be? I want it to be a flea flicker deep ball to Makai Danzy. Shout out Spear Nation. But it's like, I think the goal for this game for FSU should just be run the ball down New Mexico State's throat. And if you can't, you're going to have some problems. And then on the other end, on the other side of the ball, you shouldn't have to do anything exotic on defense. You should have faith in your front seven that new defensive line and your new linebacker group should be able to stop the run. If you can't, you're going to have lots of problems. So I think score-wise, around where the line is set, a 30-point victory or so, the big deal is just can they thrive in the trenches against New Mexico State.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. Just keeping New Mexico State under, I would say, ideally you want to hold New Mexico State under that 10 to 14-point range. I like a 31-10 victory where Florida State runs the football, like you just said, Andrew, and they control most of the time possession. They control the game. I don't need to see this offense go out and score 40 points. And after last season, I don't want to see that from the offense. In these smaller games, you don't need to lay out your entire playbook. You don't need to go beat a team by 60, 70 points. You can go out and win by 15, 20 points if it means you were dominant. So I just want to see a 2 to 3 touchdown victory in which they run their game plan. They don't give SMU a lot of tape for the following week, and it's just a steady time of possession heavy game plan from the running backs, from the defense. 31-10 would be my ideal score, and I don't know, that the score's just speaking to me right now.
I agree with, you don't want to see a whole lot in terms of the playbook from the offense, but I just feel like talent-wise, you still need to be able to flex a little bit just with a kind of simple vanilla game plan there. I mean, I would like to see them break 40, I think, to feel good about it. Not that I'm going to have any major takeaways from, whether it's 31-10 or 51-10, but I would rather see them break 40, show that, hey, we can bring in our third best running back and our, fifth and sixth best wide receiver here and still put up points, even if we're not using the full extent of our playbook, obviously.
40 is a lot. I like the 31-10 score. I think I'll be really happy with a 31-10 score. I think I'll be unsure and a little more on the concerned side with like a 31-24 score, and then anything, below that, 24-23, no, abysmal.
Well, the call-ins around the
obviously.
city are going to be nightmarish if that happens.
I think the unfortunate thing, and Gia, you alluded to this a little bit, is do we get a tune-up game? Yes, but it's just a tune-up game. I mean, Florida State proved last year that those first 3 games where you can score a million points, and you beat Alabama, but those 2 games against FCS schools where you can score a million points and your offense breaks all kinds of records, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all, because when you get down the stretch in the middle of the season and you can't score or your defense can't get stops, it doesn't mean anything. So this game will be interesting to see maybe a little bit of the depth with the 5-for-5 rule and all that stuff. More freshmen will play because you don't have to worry about red shirts. But truthfully, you're not going to find anything out until SMU.
I think just start the season with unselfish, patient football, and you'll be fine. That was really Florida State's issue last season, was they unloaded everything through the book at FCS teams, East Texas A&M, Kent State, and just used everything, and that allowed Virginia to upset Florida State. That allowed those games like NC State, where it just got away from Florida State at the very end. They didn't have those options to go to. They just ended up playing hero ball at the end. That's not going to work out.
So if everything does go right for Florida State this season, what realistically do you think is their ceiling?
I said it on Graveyard. This team just has the issue where I think the ceiling is 9 or 10 wins, but the floor is so low it could be 1 or 2 wins. I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I think the floor is 5 and 7.
Mike Norvell has
no,
proved
that's
it.
too
He's proved
optimistic. That's too optimistic, Gia. You've seen how this team can just fly off the
Like,
handle in
5
time.
I know,
5
and
and 7 can't be.
I
the
know
absolute
his
floor.
word doesn't say too much. He said this is the most confident he's felt, and if
said
he's
that
shutting
last year.
fans and media out forever, and that's the one thing he says, then I'm really hoping that we're all gonna, as FSU fans, be like really shocked on Saturday.
You can hope, but I mean, he said that last year. He always feels confident about it, or he wouldn't put the team together that way. But I mean, he has to say that. He has to say that so that there's some
but he's being
sense of
honest.
optimism.
He was addressing.
Is he? I mean, why wouldn't he
It's
lie
coach
there?
Speak.
It is
literally
coach
just
speak.
You want him to go up there and be like, I don't know about this team. I think we're probably right in that 5 and 7 range. No,
Ironically-
he's gonna.
No, but I would like a coach to say, like, you know what? Like, I know we've had a really, really tough past 2 seasons. We've brought in some good guys, and I don't want someone to lie to me and tell me that they're back and that this is the most confident they've ever felt. But
Well, in 2 years.
Right.
So he's more excited than coming into a 2-win season and a 5-win
Yes.
season.
Yeah.
Well, what he said today, literally right before he said that quote, the first thing that he said when he walked in was, no coach is going to come in here and tell you, oh, I hate how fall camp went.
Yeah.
Because even if it's true, I mean, like we said, when they go 2 and 10 and they go 5 and 7, he's saying similar stuff. But he was also asked about, some of the differences that you can see. And it's all kind of coach speak again. You want to believe him. I want to believe him. I understand. But there's only so much he can say, which is why it's exciting that football's right around the corner.
okay, so what needs to happen in the schedule for you to finally feel like, okay, I feel confident about this team, and like I'm trusting that it's not going to end 5 and 7 anymore. Like, will the SMU win like jump you up?
Win a road game.
That would be helpful, yeah. I mean, your first 3 are Alabama, Louisville, and Miami.
So I don't think that's going to happen at all. So it'd probably be Boston College, maybe.
Should be.
That
Should
would be
be.
almost 3 whole calendar years not winning a game away from Doak Campbell Stadium.
And that's absurd.
If the Boston College was the first road game, stop downing them on the road against Louisville.
You hate Louisville.
I don't hate Louisville.
You
but
do
it's
hate
like,
Louisville.
It's like what is Louisville right now to where you're saying, yep, scheduled loss on the road. Like it's
Just a
ACC Friday night. Like
team.
Those Louisville and Pitt games, they scare me just looking at them. They unsettle me. Like that Pitt game especially, Pitt's coming off a bye week, shortened week. That's just looks like a guaranteed loss. And then Louisville at night. That irks me.
Is that a Friday too?
Yeah,
Louisville's
both
Friday
games
night.
are on Friday. So I understand the Pitt one. The Pitt one's like, okay, yes, like
So you understand Pitt and not Louisville? Louisville's better than Pitt.
What about quarterback?
See,
What about Miami, Cole?
personally, there, like I don't sit.
What about Miami, Cole?
What about them? What do
Yeah,
you want
what
to
Aren't
say
you a
about
big
Miami?
Miami
Whoa,
fan?
theater of the mind.
I mean, just airing me out on the first show. Yeah, I consider myself a Miami fan, but I don't need to sit here and talk about the best team in the ACC for an extended period of time. I know no one wants to hear that.
Actually, I've never asked you this, so I'll ask you live on air right now for our
Always
first
a
show.
good idea.
When FSU and Miami play each other? Do you want Miami to win?
No, so
Wow.
this is how I explain it is like at the 3 years I've been here, I explain it to basically say when they play, I root for whoever is having the better season and has a better
Come
chance
on.
at making the playoffs.
That's baloney. You need to separate it by sport and stick with it.
Okay, so like
So football you pick, basketball you pick, baseball you pick.
basketball and baseball, FSU.
Okay, that's
And-
I don't
and-
care then.
But
That's
but I
fine.
still you can't just sit here and say I'm
You
not
can go.
allowed to
You can
root
go
for,
ahead
like,
and go
FSU
Miami
football.
baseball there, probably.
No, but like
You-
I work closely.
I think the
enough
state
with-
that Florida State football is in right now needs as much support as possible, and by default, and the fact that you're the co-host of Tomahawk Talk, a radio show that covers FSU athletics, you must root for FSU football.
It's insane.
this
to
no
say
matter
that
what.
I'm
in the
not
interview process.
supporting.
Keeps him
so
unbiased,
Miami
yeah.
week, what are you gonna say when we sit here for Miami week?
If Florida State is
I
like,
was going to
three
say
and-
it really depends on what the
Yeah.
records are going.
if
into
Florida
that
State
game.
is 3-4 and Miami is 7-0, you're gonna sit here and be like, let's go FSU. Like I
am.
I've been rooting. Yeah, but you didn't
Well,
grow up
yeah.
in South Florida rooting for. I had season tickets every year I grew up. Like it's.
Unless you watch those Al Golden teams.
I was
And
at,
you
I
chose
was
to
at all
come
those
to an
Al Golden
in-state
games.
rival school. Anyways, that's a conversation for another day. We will see how Florida State football does on Saturday against New Mexico State. Well, if we don't have football to look forward to, we do have the reigning national champions to look forward to watching this season, hopefully going back-to-back to prove their sustained dynasty of 5 natties in 11 years. Their home opener was last Thursday, where they beat FAU 3-0 before heading to Gainesville yesterday to unfortunately lose to the Gators for the first time in 10 years. Very unfortunate. But Trey, you were there in attendance. You got a pretty wicked sunburn, I heard and saw. How were the vibes there? I heard that the game wasn't really going typically how it would for FSU Soccer, and the playing was a little scrappy, is what I heard. I wasn't there, and I didn't get the chance to watch, but you were there. Fill us in.
Well, I'm a pretty big soccer fan, and Orlando City is also one of my teams, and they play very similar, where it's a slow start, and so I like being down 1-0 at halftime. Obviously, like discouraging, but it was by no means that I think this game was over. And then UF scored again, and we just had no life on offense. It was, like, for lack of a better term, horrific. Sam Erbach just doesn't know how to take a corner anymore, which I'm kind of confused by because that was supposed to be one of our, like, stars. And, like, it's one thing if you cross a corner into the box and then the defense heads it out every time. Like, that's frustrating, but at the end of the day, you just got to execute better. When your corners are landing on top of the goal, like, you just got to question what's going on there. I mean, by the end of the game, we had 2 different players take corners after she had 2 different corners go on top of the goal. So Erbach's clearly struggling through that game, and I hope that she can work through whatever she is working through. But it was not a good showing for the Seminoles at all. And obviously, like 3-1, still have a reason to feel optimistic. But I mean, your first powerful rivalry game, like you said, haven't lost in 10 years, a 7-year non-con win streak. I think it's like 36 games or something like that.
Yeah, 35 or 36, I believe.
Like, yeah, it would have been the 36 games.
And
or something
Florida's
like that.
not like a notoriously good soccer school, are they?
Yeah, well, they have 1 national championship back in 1998, but Florida State has 5.
In the past 11 years.
Yeah.
And they haven't lost to Florida in 10 years. But
Yeah.
are you concerned realistically about how that is that going to plague the season? I mean, I know 10 players signed professionally. Do you think the new group that you saw is just like maybe, working off some rust, or can they keep up the program expectation?
I mean, when you have 10 players leave, that's obviously going to fill a big hole. I mean, that's the starting 11. And so I don't feel confident writing off the season, obviously. 3-1 is still a winning record, but definitely less optimistic than I was headed into the game. It's just there was a lot of just sloppy play where we were just passing to nobody, or UF was intercepting Florida State's passes very easily. Like it was just not good fundamentals. And that's not necessarily something that happens because you're playing a better team. And that's what's a little bit concerning. But again, we'll have to see how the rest of the season or this next couple of weeks play out. Against Georgia is a top-ranked team. I believe that's our next game on the schedule. And so that'll be the next best litmus test for Florida State soccer. And you just got to hope for a bounce-back kind of game for the Seminoles.
Yeah, 2 players I'm very excited that are returned that have the national champion experience, because obviously there was a handful of girls that had won and then won again last year, and then a lot of them signed professionally. But Rihanna Hudson and Kate O'Keen, she was the goalie in last year's. Kate was the goalie in last year's national championship, and she was just unbelievable through the entire postseason. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the group and hopefully keeping up the FSU dynasty, because we know us as FSU fans don't have a lot to look forward to elsewhere in our athletics right now. But yeah, indoor volleyball also starts this week. The Garnet and Gold scrimmage was last Friday, and their home opener is on September 8th against Auburn. They play in the FGCU Invitational to open up the season officially this weekend, playing number 24 BYU on Friday. So last year, FSU Volleyball, they did not do too well against ranked opponents, but this year they play a good amount, obviously starting the season opening up against number 24 BYU, and things are looking pretty good. Head coach Lindsey Allman is taking over. Chris Poole had retired after 18 years, and he'll still be pretty heavily involved in the program, she said. I actually got the chance to interview her the other day for the FSView. I wrote that season preview, not out yet, but when it is, take a read for sure. Lots of good stuff in there. And she told me that her and Chris Poole are still very tight, and that he actually, when I was interviewing her, he was waiting to go into her office and they just have consistent conversations. He actually was trying to up-ref the Garnet and Gold scrimmage game, and she was like, I'm not going to let that happen. But that would have been awesome to see. So I'm glad that he's sticking around. She seems to have a really great relationship with all of the girls. The girls seem to have great relationships with each other. And yeah, I'm very excited about this season. Will, how do you feel about Bailey Higgins joining the indoor squad from Beach? I know that was a name that we were very excited about.
Yeah, I think that's really exciting, especially, coming in on the right side for them. Presumably will play alongside Lexi Mason there. And I think it's always good to bring in talent wherever you can get it in that way. I am interested. I mean, you brought up Chris Poole still heavily involved. I'm interested to see how things go with Lindsey Allman taking over. So promoting from within in a spot like that is just kind of the way that you have to go when someone's been there for that long, especially with the amount of young players. I think there's a good bit of pressure just in terms of showing improvement and showing continued development of these young players, because you heard about it all year last year, the amount of freshmen that FSU had. I mean, there's probably 6 who were freshmen last year that are expected to be heavy contributors this year. I think that's something that is definitely going to be good to keep an eye on. Yeah,
and there's only 4 new incoming players this year. Last year there was 9 true freshmen alone. And, like I said, Lindsey, it's Coach Lindsey. I said Lindsey just because when I was interviewing...
Her friends call her Lindsey.
Well, and some of the players call her Lindsey, which goes to show it seems like they already established that close relationship. Obviously, she was the assistant head coach for the past couple seasons, working heavily with the outsides, and the outsides one being Bailey Higgins and Kylene Filamau, who actually now has 1 more year of eligibility. So this will not be the last time FSU fans see her playing indoor, which is very lovely to hear.
Oh, yeah, pretty big deal.
Yeah. But, it is a big deal. She was named the All-ACC preseason team, and she is phenomenal. Her and Bailey Higgins coming off just a absolutely fantastic beach season. I mean, they know what it takes to go to that stage of the biggest stage in collegiate athletics. So hopefully they can bring that over to the indoor season, because they have a pretty good group this year.
One of the big things to watch, though, I mean, FSU, obviously Iana Henke is going to be one of the big losses that will show up immediately, but at setter, it's going to be a completely new rotation there. Lily Nicholson and Nellie Stevenson are both gone. So Ryan Murphy, redshirt freshman, was the 4th-rated recruit in Florida, is one of the frontrunners for that job. They also brought in a pair of transfers from Oregon State and Alabama with Emma Lilo and Callie Kiefer. So I don't know exactly who is in line to get the largest amount of time there, but that's going to be a position that isn't going to be talked about as much as losing somebody like Henke, but that could really be a key difference in whether this team has a season that looks more like last year or, gets back to kind of the heights that they normally look to be at.
Definitely. And the loss of Henke, I mean, she is a standout player. She's playing over in Germany now, I believe. But Bailey Higgins, I mean, I know I keep stressing how amazing she was or is, but coming in as an outside from Beach, I mean, as an athlete, she's so equipped, and she had played through high school, and she had said the last time she had played competitively was senior year, but the rust wore off like nothing, and she's ready to get back after it. So I don't think there's really too much of a loss. I mean, obviously, Iani Henke was just phenomenal for FSU, but Bailey Higgins is going to slot in very nicely. And I'm looking forward to see the new setters because that's obviously an extremely underrated and very important aspect of the game.
Keep an eye on Peyton Whalen, too, going into her second year.
Very underrated her freshman year.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
played really well in limited time. I would expect her to make a pretty big impact.
Yeah. Also, if you're just now tuning in and you want to call in, please call us in at 850-644-1837. That's 850-644-1837. I feel like I can say that number in my sleep, by the way. I feel like I've said it so many times. Anyways, now we are on to Like, Love, and Hate. This is a game that my co-host Cole presented to me. I think it was a very good idea, very funny, so I'll let Cole explain the game. It's a new segment we're trying out here.
Yeah, new segment alert. We need a little
A button?
So like a sound effect for a new segment. But yes, like,
work on
love,
that.
hate. As I explained in our pre-show meeting, for the listeners at home, pretty much we're going to pick about 3 to 5 topics, some niche topics in sports every week. We'll get to the ones we're talking about this week. We'll go around, the 5 of us, discussing if we like, love, or hate said topic. So the first one we have, and the first like, love, hate topic ever, pretty controversial topic over the weekend. The whole Browns QB drama controversy today. Head coach Todd Monken named Deshaun Watson as the Browns starting quarterback week 1 at the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going to start. This is a tough one. I don't know if anyone's going to love it. I feel like we're going to get a lot of hates. I like it, only for the fact that there should be a lot of content coming out of it. It's been super interesting. I was doing a little bit of research going into this. If you guys watch Todd Monken's presser today where he announced Deshaun Watson as a starter, whenever he would talk about Shedeur Sanders, he would speak really highly of him. It would go into about a minute and a half response to Deshaun Watson, a little bit more reserved. And then at the end of the press conference, I thought was really interesting, he mentioned it was an organizational decision. So something tells me the Haslam's made a call to Todd Monken, and it was not his decision, because I think Shedeur has also looked a little bit better in the preseason, but I like it for Deshaun to, people forget, a few years ago, this guy was a top 5 quarterback pretty much in the NFL.
Like 5 years ago.
Yeah. Does he still have it in him somewhere? I don't think
No.
so. Is he still capable of being an NFL starting quarterback? It hasn't looked like that, but I personally like it just for the fact it's going to be really entertaining.
If you
Yeah.
hate Cleveland, it would be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
But from a football standpoint, and from an organization that could never surprise you by doing something stupid, because that's all they do.
I'm saying like or love just because I don't like Shedeur Sanders, and I don't like any of the Sanders. I have personal beef with all of them,
Deshaun
actually.
Watson sexually
was gonna
assaulted
say
30
30 women.
Sanders, I have personal beef with also.
Worse than Deshaun Watson, because that's not a winning argument.
Well, I don't have
think.
personal beef with him. I have.
Does this make sense?
I don't-
I'd backtrack on that.
Not
one.
at all.
Yeah, I don't know if I would. This is not the hill I think you
Yeah,
want to die on.
I think this
I
is
don't
an
think
odd
anyone
one.
has personal vendettas against him. I think
No.
it's
When I
like
say
a-
personal
50
beef, I mean I
50
met
women
Deion
do,
Sanders
probably.
and Shedeur Sanders in person, and they were rude to me, and so that's why
Wait,
I had
what?
beef. And so I.
Worse than Deshaun Watson. by
Deshaun
the way.
Watson's been rude to people too.
Okay,
Very.
right.
But he hasn't been rude to Gia.
Yeah,
like,
but me, it's
personally.
different. I have, like I said, personal beef. So
I
yeah,
get
I'm going with like. I don't love it. I'm indifferent, but I like it.
I think I have to be the first person to hate this, which is absurd to me.
I think that's a
Right.
good take, Cole.
I absolutely hate this. Now, I know Cleveland is used to having their fans boo them on offense like 80% of the time now. Now it's going to be 100%. I don't know what kind of difference this makes, but no move is good. Deshaun Watson may be one of the worst quarterbacks I've seen in the 2020s. In 2017, 2018, absolutely amazing. Went to Cleveland and just has done nothing besides get paid a ton of money and do a bunch of other stuff. And Shedeur Sanders, as bad as he is, at least he's cheap and you can see what he does. And there's a good QB class next year. Why not just see what happens? I don't get why you just don't move past Deshaun Watson. I don't care that he's a ton of money. This is the worst thing ever for Cleveland.
Well, the biggest thing is that press conference calling out Cleveland's fans for booing it. What he said about the fans, you don't come back from. He's going to get booed incessantly. What are you telling your fans if you trot this guy out there? When, yeah, like if you match them up, I agree, Shedeur has played better in the preseason. Yeah, if you match them up, what are they overall in the NFL? Like the 33rd and 34th best quarterback?
Battle of mid.
yeah, does it really matter at that point when you want to go with the young talent who's still projected very well? No, he's not played well. You're not going to be good this year. So you might as well throw Shador out there, and then you'll have a whole season's worth of tape to say, hey, this is why Kevin Stefanski hated this guy so much while he was here. He sucks. We'll draft another quarterback. There is zero benefit to playing Deshaun Watson at all, other than not taking the $86 million dead cap hit to just get rid of him. But just sit him on your bench, and then at least you won't get incessantly booed by your fans every single time he trots on the field.
They will still boo him if he's on the bench. You have to hide him away
That's
in
true.
the medical tent.
That's true. Just keep him in the tent. And this guy, there's no other team that will pick him up either. This is the last stop of his NFL career. He is an awful player. He is a worse person. There is no benefit to having Deshaun Watson on your team ever, in any case.
So both games that the Browns start with, the first 2 games are on the road. So it's kind of almost in the fact that I don't know if Cleveland is going to have a chance to boo him as their starting quarterback, but I agree with the battle of mid comment because I just think both of them suck. Why not give Dylan Gabriel another chance?
Oh, he's too bad. No, he doesn't even get into the conversation. Taylor Green, interesting.
Is he going to make the roster?
He should over Dylan Gabriel. I mean,
they love Dylan Gabriel down in Cleveland, though.
It's really odd. It's an odd fascination they have there.
Andrew, are you rolling with hated as well?
I was going to say, I agree with Cole. I hated Deshaun Watson when he was at Clemson. Not personally. He just played for Clemson. And then he got in the NFL and was good, but then did things that I guess would probably make me hate him personally.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have nothing good to say about Deshaun Watson. So.
I went hate too if that wasn't clear. I didn't explicitly answer.
I was going to say we had a tiebreaker on our hands, and Will, you went with the hate part of it. We'll shift to our next topic. Brenda Song, Hops. If you remember her from The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody,
Of course. London Tipton.
She hopped in the booth. She is a longtime Rams fan, and she was granted the opportunity to hop in the booth for the Rams-Saints game on Saturday, which shout out Stetson Bennett. I don't know if you
the
guys
mailman.
saw that, but
Always delivers.
wow. I mean, what a game from him. But during a pick six, she shouted, let's go, quote, we're going home, bye. Like, love, or hate it.
Look, I was really excited about this when I heard that she was going to be the first female color analyst for the Rams. Obviously, it was a preseason game, but I was like, that's an awesome opportunity. Brooklyn Fletcher just did that with the White Sox. I was so excited. I thought Brenda Song was going to really be speaking about the game. And then she was just, I didn't watch the game, but I saw the clips after, and she could have said more, and I just caught not my favorite moments, but she was just saying run, come on. I don't, if I wanted to listen to a fan, I would go to the game and listen to a fan next to me. I don't know. I was really excited to see her do that. And then I thought she was going to be talking more about analyzing the game, being more of a color analyst. So I'm going to say I love Brenda Song, and I was so excited about that, but was slightly disappointed.
This is how it sounds to people when we say us or we.
What, did I say us or we?
Just generally.
Oh.
just to the average listener of
Right.
Tomahawk Talk, it's
Right.
it infuriates them when we refer to FSU as we.
Yeah, that's why we don't do it, is because the fans hate it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go as well. I personally didn't know a whole lot about the whole story.
You don't know about London Tipton?
Well, I know who London
Okay,
Tipton
thank
is.
you.
Just about Brenda Song and how she ended up there. But I did read about it. I thought it was just I guess it was a couple years ago when she went viral because she was tweeting actual ball knowledge about the Rams.
Yeah.
Which is I guess why she got
That's
the
what I was
opportunity
saying.
in the
I was
first place.
expecting
Yeah.
her to be really dropping ball knowledge, and she's been in sport. Wasn't she a big Knicks fan, or she was?
Everybody is
Something
when it's
around
Yeah,
convenient.
but I don't know. Yeah, but anyways, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I like it. It's the preseason. You can do whatever you want, really.
Yeah.
If it was a playoff game and they just let a super fan in, I'd have beef with that. But it's the preseason. I don't mind it. She can do what she wants. They invited her.
No, yeah, but I feel I guess I'm a little biased as a woman in sport, but when you're oh yeah, that's so cool. Someone gets this opportunity, and it's you're saying, come on, run. That's it. That's all I didn't watch the rest of the game, so she could have been really spitting her Rams knowledge, but
Was it
the
only-
viral clips didn't portray her doing it as that.
She
Was it only the third quarter?
Yeah, she was
But
only
then-
in the.
I feel like that's more of like
Yeah.
a gimmick than like tune in for Brenda's song in the
Yeah.
third quarter, like how they do with the Manning cast.
They didn't advertise it like that though. They said Brenda Song is the first female color analyst for the Rams, and I was like, she's getting that job. Like I thought she was like quitting acting and like going into
I did see
color
that, yeah.
commentary.
I did see that, and I
so
thought it
I
was
was like,
making it-
this is awesome. I reposted it. I was like, this is awesome. That wasn't the case, but it's okay. I like it.
Will, you got anything on Brenda's song?
I got nothing. I'll say like, why not?
All right, I'm gonna go anti. I don't want to say hate, but like I don't like it. It was the
Dislike.
It was but that's not the segment. That's the thing.
Well,
Where's
then I
the
guess you gotta
integrity of
hate it.
like,
I
love,
don't
hate.
know.
If I say I don't like it, it's
Yeah,
like
true.
So I'm gonna say hate. I don't hate Brenda's song. I hate the scenario of it. It was the let's go home bye for me. Like this isn't an Instagram reel or TikTok. Like you're on a broadcast. Let's try to keep it professional. If any of you guys saw when the Phillies invited the guy that went off the radio to call an inning, like that is how you do a guest broadcast right there. I know Brenda's song might also, like, I was reading about it, and after they lost in the divisional round against the Eagles 2 years ago, she was like, "Yeah, we don't have a pass rusher," and they had Jared Verse and Brenda. So I don't really know how much she knows about the Rams in general. So like, I'm questioning that a little bit, but good on her for taking the opportunity. But let's not do that ever again.
So if you're keeping track at home, Cole hates Louisville and Brenda's song.
Yeah, I guess add him to the list. I mean, I don't hate her. I don't hate her. I didn't say I hated Brenda's song.
No, he just hates women in sports. That's
Whoa.
not it.
I hate
And he's a Miami fan.
I'm just joking.
All right, we're gonna move to the next list on this.
No, let's
segment.
sit here for a little longer. Yeah.
Let's just ruminate in the fact that. Let's not ruminate in the fact over Brenda's song. Good for her. Let's take advantage of the opportunity next time. Next topic: FSU changing the way students are able to transfer tickets. I guess last year, FSU students really weren't able to do it at all. You had to go to the ticket office. I never ran into that issue. But now they have changed the way of transferring tickets. They're allowing people to transfer tickets from one to the other. It's going to be huge for those FSU Snapchat stories when people post that they're selling tickets, and it's going to be a lot easier to transfer. I personally love it. I think we're probably all going to agree here, unless you have a gripe with it. Gia is making a
Gia,
face.
what could this be?
Okay, you say that like I have these egregious, like crazy takes.
The facial expression
go-
just
go
indicated
ahead.
you're going to hate it.
Well,
so
no,
I'm,
because specifically Cole said my only issue with it, which was people posting and saying like people are gonna buy them immediately and then resell them for way more expensive. And
Well.
honestly, I honestly am indifferent, not to sound all whatever, but I don't typically go to games as a fan as I do more to work. So it doesn't affect me as much, but I definitely see people buying them and then selling them for way more.
Well, but I've had to do this multiple times, just not getting them in the lottery, stuff like that, especially with how tough it's gotten. Like, yeah, if you wait until a certain point, but also if you wait till game day, usually people be like, okay, I just got to get rid of these. Like, I don't think they're getting marked up like crazy, with the exception of maybe, FSU Florida at the end of the year, probably. That'll be a tough ticket to find, but, for New Mexico State, let's say you don't get one in the lottery. Pay up $20. Okay, fine.
You gotta have some serious issues if you're buying a ticket and then reselling it as well. I don't know if anyone had that idea until Gia just threw that in there.
Yeah, I was
but-
going to say, Gia's point is implied that you win the lottery and then resell the ticket.
Do we have a caller?
Do we?
Yeah, we have a caller. Wow, mystery caller. I was not informed that someone was calling in. So let's maybe wait and see who it is.
Cole,
I
love or hate?
I love this. As a freshman last year who got a ticket to every game, I know I'm not going to get a ticket this year. It's just so I love this.
Hey, never say never though. I've never not gotten a ticket in 3 years. I've gotten every single ticket I've applied for.
Dude,
I don't know
so
if that's
lucky.
just
All right,
luck or-
mystery caller, you are live. Hello?
Mystery caller, hey, it's Dr. K.
My
Hey,
dad.
Dr. K, introduce yourself. Who are we speaking to? Who is Dr.
Well,
K?
Andrew knows me. This is Andrew's dad.
Oh, nice to
Kevin
meet you, Mr.
Witherspoon.
Andrews' dad.
Hey, listen, I wanted to ask Will a question, but I have some questions for you guys in general. Will has thanked me at the end of a couple of episodes, just sort of randomly.
That is true, yeah.
And I feel like I've made it in life. I mean, I'm really honored, but is there a story there, or are we just sort of mutual fans?
No, I think Andrew might have mentioned that you included a question for graveyard games at some point. We would do a running list of people to thank at the end of certain episodes. So your name just made it on there, and you were named in my finale hosting. So I mean that is a pretty prestigious club.
Oh, listen, I'm telling you, I've made it. I'm honored. Yeah, I mean, I've got a little bit of background in sports-related things, so the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And I love listening to you guys. You're doing a great job. So I wanted to bring it back to FSU football, if I can ask a couple of questions.
Please, go ahead.
So I listened to the Graveyard Shift preview, and it's great. I mean, I learn a lot from you guys. You're a lot more kind of insiders in the program than I am. I wondered a couple things coming out of that episode, and you've kind of hinted at a little bit earlier tonight. Chances for the ACC title. I mean, we've seen some teams kind of sneak in there in the last couple of years. I think with an upset here or there, we might be able to come through. And on that note, Andrew mentioned this. Tell me we're going to beat Clemson this year. I mean, that's the most important thing on the schedule every year.
I would imagine out of the bigger games, Clemson would be the one to win.
I'll say we're beating Clemson.
We're beating Clemson. It's Halloween night at Doak. That's a win.
As far as the ACC title, I'll let Will answer that one, because I'm not.
I think.
You're
looking to me for a positive viewpoint. I don't know. I think. If we're talking getting to Charlotte, it's not out of the realm of possibility. The ACC outside of Miami doesn't have, a dominant second-place team. I'm not high on SMU. Cole hates Louisville, as we've already established.
Well, I was going to ask you if you think there's a better chance that FSU or Louisville makes it, because
Louisville.
You're so high on Louisville.
Louisville.
Okay, so there's your answer, Mr. K. So if Louisville has a chance,
Dr. K.
Sorry,
yeah,
Dr. K.
Come on,
Dr.
Cole.
K, come on now.
Apologies, sincere apologies, but there's only two spots.
It might come down to that game, right? I mean, in Louisville, in their place on a Friday night, I mean, that might sink us right there. But which one of those games, if we're looking at SMU, Miami, Louisville, Clemson, and Alabama, is Clemson the best shot at?
That's what I was kind of referring to. I believe that out of those games, Clemson is the one to win.
Well, is that the only one you get at home?
SMU. I think SMU's a really good shot to win, especially early in the season. SMU's bringing in a lot of new faces. They're one of those teams that has their quarterback back, so the preseason magazines are like, oh, they should be good. They have their quarterback. They lost a lot outside of that. I think that FSU should win that game. I'm picking them to win that one, but I also do agree that if you look at Miami and Louisville back-to-back on the road, that's a place where if you lose two of those in a row, it might be hard to rebound.
Yeah. Well, we're up here in Greenville. This is Clemson country. And I will say the fan base here for Clemson is really nervous. But listening to them reminds me a little bit of listening to our fans. I don't think the wheels are completely falling off, but they're thinking like 6-6, 7-5 from what I hear from a lot of them. So maybe we can take them down this year.
I think we're in really similar positions. I mean, like I said, I think we can beat them. I think they're another team that, because of the brand, the AP is going to look at and think, oh, well, they'll figure it out. But I feel like they've been saying that about Clemson for quite a while. And you look at how last year went. They lose K. Klubnik at quarterback. You have Vizina out there. He's not even won that battle in camp. I don't see much of a reason for Clemson fans to think they'll be near the top of the order.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're right about that. And I hate Dabo with a seething hatred, so if they would get rid of him, I'd be happy about that. Let me ask you one other question. I know you're running short on time. You mentioned the ticket thing, which was something I was thinking about. As somebody who doesn't get to town that often, or other listeners from a distance, are there other things about the team this year, aside from just breaking down, positions and players and matchups? Are there other things that you're looking forward to, or you're curious about how they're going to work out? So, Eric Llewellyn is going to be the new stadium announcer. Are there other things?
I'm really excited
uniforms
about
or anything else about the stadium.
I'm really excited about Tom Herman.
Why? Why?
I
This was
didn't even
in the
want to
show.
talk
This was
about.
in the show notes. I don't really understand why it's such a focus.
I was gonna say the same thing. Like I
It's
know,
not,
I know
it's
you
just
snuck
funny
it in
now.
the intro just to sneak
No,
his
it's just
name in
funny to
there.
mess with Cole now.
I think the new PA announcer being Eric Llewellyn is something to watch for sure. I think that'll be interesting. I mean, also anytime that you go 8 months without football and without being in that stadium, it's always fun to get back into it. And I hope that the way the season goes isn't, demoralizing the way the last two have been at certain points, and you can just have a competitive team. You go out there every home game and think that they have a shot to win, which I do think is going to be the case.
They are also honoring the past, which is good to see. They're honoring Sebastian Janikowski on Saturday, Peter Warwick on Halloween as well. So at least if they're not embracing the present, they're at least embracing the past, which is good to see.
Yeah, it is. All right. Well, listen, you guys have a great night. I appreciate all that you're doing, and I enjoy it. Thanks.
Thank you so much for calling in, Dr. K. We will hopefully hear from you again soon.
Sure thing. You bet. Thanks.
Of course. Wow, Andrew, quality dad you got there.
I appreciate that. I agree.
Anyways, we are running a little short on time, but I do want to go around the diamond briefly, talk about some baseball because the playoff race is tight and seems like MLB did a little bit of a 180. Everyone thought the Dodgers were going to be this big bad team to three-peat. Obviously, they're still doing well for, the Dodgers, but one of the smallest market teams ever, Brewers, have officially taken over. The Dodgers, I believe, are 1 game back in the league overall. Cole, you got the Marlins. Oh, the Red Sox just tied it up. Wow. It was 1-0. Marlins were up, but looks like the Red Sox tied it up. The Rays are up 3-1 against the Tigers right now. That's lovely to see. But realistically, we all know that the Rays are winning the 2026 World Series. They're going to make it back to the playoffs for the first time since 2023.
Yes.
They have an undeniable power of friendship. Don't get me wrong. I'm admittedly 10% more worried than I was when I made the document and I was writing this last week, but still this team, Eric Neander, the new everything is just, we are trending upwards. And Cole, I know you feel the same way.
Everything about the Rays right now is awesome. I don't care that they've lost 2 series to 3 series.
I don't even care about the series anymore. It's at the point where as long as they hold the lead, they're, the Yankees are 3 games back in the division right now, just hold on to the lead. I'm like, I don't even care if they keep the...
I've been following the Yankees more closely than I have been the Rays, just because I'm scared out of my mind that the Yankees will catch up. And I don't think they will.
They got plagued by injuries. And
some reliever they got called up today from Minnesota, and he has like a 9 ERA this season, 7 ERA. So I love that. Just... This Rays team is deep. Manny Rodriguez is coming back. Edwin Uceta is coming back. That bullpen's going to be stacked. Goodbye, Chris Roycroft. I hated you.
My only concern, literally my only concern, because, throughout the lineup, they all find a way to figure it out at one point, some way or the other. Freddie Peralta is my only concern. Realistically, he's been on a downward trend the entire season. But since he has put on the Rays uniform, it's actually crazy because you'd think that his pitching would be better with the Rays, but it has gone completely downhill. He has like an over 7 ERA right now.
Has Peralta made a start at Tropicana?
Yeah.
He has one?
At least one.
He has at least one?
Yeah.
Because he had that one good start against Sacramento. And I think other than that Alonso got the best of him. Yeah. Other than that, he wasn't bad. He went 7 innings against Baltimore.
And I don't know why they left him in because he let up like 9 hits and
it was off. But the only runs that scored were off Alonso, really.
Yeah.
I think it's more of he still needs to get the Mets out of his system a little. No offense to Mets fans, but that's bad. It'll all work out. Come October, come November, hopefully, he'll lock down that rotation.
Rays-tober is coming. You have heard it here first. Cole, sigh all you want. I don't care.
Well,
no. The
let's-
conversation's over because we're getting into
let's-
winners and losers now.
Let's go around the diamond, but we're only going to talk about the Rays. That's the
We're not
caveat.
talking about the Marlins. The Red Sox are tied with you guys right
I don't
now.
want to talk
Absolutely
about the Marlins.
not.
This was a MLB segment.
It is convenient how the timing lined up for
talk
that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
should-
we were
should-
running a little bit out of time, so I wanted to talk about the most important team
We
in the
mentioned
league.
the
The
Dodgers.
Brewers
Forgive
were
me.
mentioned. The Brewers were
The Brewers
mentioned.
were mentioned, and I gave them their flowers before I talked about the greatest team in the league, the Rays. And I'm allowed to do that.
rename
Anyways,
the show
winners and
Tomahawk
losers.
winners and
Rays.
losers.
Gladly.
Andrew, you want to kick us off?
Oh,
Who is
okay.
your winner and loser of the week?
Sure.
Quickly.
My loser is the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah. I mean, this, I don't want to go too deep into it, but this might go down as one of the worst wasting a prime of a player in NBA history. I don't want to talk any more about it. The winner is Pete Carl Armstrong enthusiasts. He might mess around and win NL MVP over Shohei Ohtani, which in this day and age is pretty impressive.
Gee, is that okay that we were talking about the Cubs? Or
Yes.
like a different
It's
MLB
okay
team?
for now.
Okay.
For now.
I just want to make sure that flies.
Shout out Wrigleyville.
Cole Smith?
My winner is the transfer portal for always winning at the end of the day with players coming back, whether it's G League, preseason. It's the Wild West out there, and it will always win unless something is done about it. And my loser is the Cleveland Browns for being an organization who has done nothing good ever, unless you count like before the 60s, which I don't.
All right, Trey, your winner and loser of the week.
My winner is the University of Arizona's chapter of Alpha Phi. They posted a sorority photo shoot of them all wearing Jalen Brunson jerseys. I don't know why, but I'm a Knicks fan, so got to shout them out. Loser, Manchester United. They lost 2-0 to open the season against Hull City, who has not scored a Premier League goal since 2017. So.
All right. Sounds good. Cole, who's your winner and loser?
My loser is 49ers principal owner Jed York. Not going to go into a lot about what he did over the last probably 48 hours, but seems like he's done something like this before, was finally caught in Ohio, which is really far from San Francisco, so it's like weird that he traveled a far distance to do what he was doing.
I believe it was in a trailer park, too.
It was,
my
yes.
God.
It was in a trailer park. Probably one of the worst decisions of his life, which is crazy to say considering he is the CEO and owner of an NFL franchise, but huge loser, Jed York. Shout out him and the Niners. My winner is Gia and I. Although contentious, it was a great first show together, and to many more.
How wholesome. Will, your winner and loser.
Yeah, so I broke the microphone in here, so if the audio's not good on this, then whatever. But, yeah, so winner, Nick Chubb, congratulations on retirement, one of the best running backs in the history of college football. Loser, Enes Kanter. This guy is an absolute hack. Just the behavior from this weekend is some of the most embarrassing stuff I've seen ever. I mean, just a complete loser, does not care about women's sports. If you fall for a grift like that, then I got a lot I could say about your intelligence, but Enes Kanter's a complete dumbass, so that's about all I got on that.
My winner and loser. I'll start with my winner. Kinsley Rasmus. She is a 12-year-old BA. I love her. She is a star in the Little League World Series right now. She pitches and plays shortstop. She struck out 8 through 6, I believe, something like that. Yeah, she let up one hit and then made the most amazing diving play at short. And I was listening to the broadcasters today, and they were talking about how her team needs to step it up other than her and that she's been kind of carrying them. So I think that is totally awesome.
And she got a shout out on last night's Little League Classic broadcast.
Oh.
Really?
By the broadcasters last night.
Awesome. She will be seeing her in the Women's Professional Baseball League, hopefully. Anyways, my loser, and I cannot stress this enough, is Perla Residences. Perla Residences. Wow. On behalf of me and all of the people that are homeless right now, please fix the situation. Anyways, that's it for tonight for Tomahawk Talk. We will be back here next Monday. Check out The Graveyard Shift wherever you get your podcasts. Follow V89 Sports on Instagram and Twitter. Check out our website with all of our writing and photography. Have a great week. And as always, from my co-host, Cole Kruger, tonight's panelists, Andrew Witherspoon, Cole Smith, and Will McBroom, and from our producer, Trey Pope, I'm Gia Ciaccio. New releases up next. You've been listening to WVFS Tallahassee, the voice of Florida State.